An I Can Read book. Amelia Bedelia and the Surprise Shower. Story by Peggy Parrish. Pictures by Barbara Seibel Thomas. Based on the original drawings by Fritz Seibel. Scholastic Inc. Read by Talene Shomar. There was a knock on the back door. "Coming, coming," called Amelia Bedelia. She opened the door. "Oh, it's you, Cousin Alcoo," she said. "Do come in." "Miss Rogers asked me to help out today," said Alcoo. "Is she having a party or something?" "Every Tuesday," said Amelia Bedelia. "Some ladies get together. They sew and talk. But today, Miss Alma is in for a real surprise. Those other ladies are giving Miss Alma a shower." "A shower?" said Alcoo. "A surprise shower," said Amelia Bedelia. "Now why would they do that to her?" asked Alcoo. "Miss Alma is nice." "I don't know," said Amelia Bedelia. "She's about to get married. They should do something nice for her. She can give herself a shower." "Your folks do have funny ways," said Alcoo. "Say, are you cooking something?" "My cupcakes," said Amelia Bedelia. She ran to the oven. "Just right," she said. "They will need to cool a bit. Then I will ice them." Mr. Rogers came in. "Good morning, Amelia Bedelia." "Good morning, Alcoo," said Mr. Rogers. "My, what nice lot of fish," said Amelia Bedelia. "They should taste good," said Mr. Rogers. "Please scale them and ice them." "All right," said Amelia Bedelia. "Say, Mr. Rogers, did you ever hear of somebody giving a surprise shower?" "Oh, yes," said Mr. Rogers. "It's like a surprise party, and they shower the person with gifts. That is why they call it a shower." Mr. Rogers looked at his watch. "I have to go to town," he said. Mr. Rogers left the kitchen. "By the way, Amelia Bedelia," said Alcoo, "Mr. Rogers told me to prune the hedge. Could you show me how?" "I would be glad to," said Amelia Bedelia. She went to the cupboard. She took out a box of prunes. Amelia Bedelia and Alcoo went to the hedge. "Now," said Amelia Bedelia, "you take a prune, then stick it on like this." "Is that all there is to it?" asked Alcoo. "Prune it well," said Amelia Bedelia. "Mr. Rogers likes things done right." Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. "Oh, I plumb forgot my cupcakes," she said. "And I must make that chocolate icing." Amelia Bedelia put some of this and a little of that in a big pot. She stirred and stirred. Then she tasted the icing. "Just right," she said. Amelia Bedelia began to ice her cakes. "The fish," she said. Mr. Rogers said to scale them and ice them. Amelia Bedelia got the scales. She piled the fish on them. "There," she said. "You just scale yourselves while I ice the cakes." And Amelia Bedelia iced her cakes. "These do look nice," she said. "And there's enough icing left to ice the fish, too." Amelia Bedelia picked up a fish by its tail. "I hope you have scaled long enough," she said. She iced one side of the fish, then iced the other side. Amelia Bedelia worked until the last fish was iced. "That takes care of you," she said. Amelia Bedelia put the iced fish and the iced cakes in the cupboard. Miss Rogers came into the kitchen. "Amelia Bedelia, use these tablecloths for the table," she said. Do run over it first with an iron. And we need some cut flowers, said Miss Rogers. She went out the back door. Amelia Bedelia unfolded the tablecloth. She put it on the floor. Then Amelia Bedelia got the iron, and she ran all over the tablecloth. Amelia Bedelia put the tablecloth on the table. Alcu came over to Amelia Bedelia. "That takes care of that," he said. "I even have some prunes left, so I pruned the other bushes too." "That does look nice," she said. "Miss Rogers will be mighty pleased." Amelia Bedelia and Alcu met Miss Rogers at the back door. Miss Rogers came in with a bunch of flowers. She put them on the kitchen table. "Amelia Bedelia," she said, "use the large silver bowl for the cut flowers." "All right," said Amelia Bedelia. Miss Rogers left the kitchen. She came right back with a basket of gifts. "These are for Miss Alma's shower," she said. "We will start sewing as we always do. Then, when all the ladies are here, we will say, 'Surprise!' Then comes the shower. Can you and Alcu take care of everything?" "Oh, yes," said Amelia Bedelia. "We will see to everything." "These flowers are so pretty," said Amelia Bedelia. "It's a shame to cut them." "She said cut flowers," said Alcu. "Let me help you." So Amelia Bedelia and Alcu fixed a bowl of cut flowers. "We do have some figuring out to do," she said. "I thought those ladies were supposed to be giving this shower, and here we are giving it." "If we had known," said Alcu, "we could have fixed up something fancy." "It's too late for that now," said Amelia Bedelia. The two of them went outside. Amelia Bedelia saw the garden hose. "Do you think that will do?" asked Alcu. "Well, it's not really a shower," said Amelia Bedelia, "but it's the next best thing. I will give her the gifts, and you can shower her." "The gifts will get wet," said Alcu. "They are shower gifts," said Amelia Bedelia. "What if they get wet? We will get wet too." "Well," said Alcu, "we can put on something else." "What a good idea," said Amelia Bedelia. "Hide those gifts first," said Alcu. Amelia Bedelia hid the basket of gifts under some bushes. "It's time to get ready," she said. A bit later, Amelia Bedelia heard a car stop. "Here come the ladies," she called to Miss Rogers. Miss Rogers hurried out to meet them. Miss Ralph came out first, and with her came her 4 children. "Look," they shouted, "prunes on the hedge!" The children went racing past. More and more ladies came. They all began to sew, but Miss Alma did not come. "Where is Miss Alma?" everybody asked, but nobody knew. Miss Rogers looked at the table. "Footprints," said Miss Rogers. "Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to that tablecloth?" "I ran over it with an iron," said Amelia Bedelia. "Should I have taken my shoes off first?" "Oh, never mind," said Miss Rogers. "Amelia Bedelia, where are the cut flowers?" she asked. "Oh my," said Amelia Bedelia. "I forgot them." Amelia Bedelia ran in and got the flowers. Miss Rogers looked at the bowl. "Amelia Bedelia," she cried, "what did you do to those flowers?" "I cut them," said Amelia Bedelia. "You said to fix a bowl of cut flowers." Just then Miss Alma drove by. "Here she is," said the ladies. "Sorry to be late," said Miss Alma, "but I have a headache." "I'm sorry," said Miss Rogers. "Do just sit down." Miss Rogers turned to Amelia Bedelia. "Are you ready for the shower?" she asked. "We will need a minute or two," said Amelia Bedelia. She called Alku. They went around back. And there stood Amelia Bedelia and Alku in bathing suits. "All right," called Amelia Bedelia. "We are ready." Then all the ladies shouted. "Surprise!" shouted Amelia Bedelia. She ran out with all the gifts, then dumped them on Miss Alma's lap. "Here are the gifts," she said. Alku came right behind her with the hose. "And here is the shower," he shouted. "A shower! A shower!" screamed Miss Ralph's 4 children, and they jumped into the shower with Miss Alma. All the ladies screamed too, and they jumped out of the shower. Miss Alma leaped up. Her gifts flew all over the place. "How dare you!" she shouted. Miss Alma was angry. She was very angry. "Amelia Bedelia, Alku!" shouted Miss Rogers. "Turn off the water this minute." Amelia Bedelia and Alku turned off the water. "Did you see how mad Miss Alma was?" asked Alku. "I don't think she liked our shower," said Amelia Bedelia. "Maybe some hot tea will help her." Amelia Bedelia and Alku went into the kitchen. "I'll take care of the tea things," said Amelia Bedelia. "You bring the cupcakes." "Here is the tea," said Amelia Bedelia. "Thank goodness for that," said Miss Rogers. That chocolate looks good," said Miss Ralph. "Help yourself," said Miss Rogers. Miss Ralph helped herself to the biggest piece. She took her fork. Miss Ralph tried to cut it, but it would not cut. And Miss Ralph wanted that chocolate. She picked it up and bit it. "Oh!" she screamed. "Fish! Raw fish!" Miss Ralph was angry. She was very angry. Miss Rogers came out just then. He heard what Miss Ralph said. "Fish?" he shouted. "Amelia Bedelia, what did you do to my fish?" "Ice them," said Amelia Bedelia. Now Mr. Rogers was angry too. Suddenly, Miss Alma started laughing. Everybody looked at her. She jumped up and threw her arms around Amelia Bedelia. "You are wonderful," said Miss Alma. "My headache is all gone. That surprise shower was just what I needed." Then Miss Ralph laughed. "Amelia Bedelia," she asked, "did you prune the hedge?" "Cousin Alku did that," said Amelia Bedelia. "Then he is wonderful too," said Miss Ralph. "See how happy my children are? They have never been this good." And suddenly, everybody was laughing. Miss Rogers began to pour the tea. Amelia Bedelia served the chocolate cupcakes. All the ladies said they were the best cakes they had ever eaten. "That was so much fun," said all the ladies, and they laughed some more. Then they helped pick up Miss Alma's gifts. And they were still laughing when they left.
You all deserve thanks and praise. Without you, our channel would not have reached the best ranks, and without your efforts, success would not have been any reach and goals would not have been achieved. You are the basis for raising this channel and the basis for its progress, and you are the ones carrying the torch of success and development.